So I've recently added Enhanced Autopilot to my 18-month-old Tesla Model Y here, and one of the features of that is Autopark, where the car will park itself. So that's what I'm going to test and have a look at on this video. So I've had Enhanced Autopilot on this car for a few days now, and I've been testing all the features, and I'm making separate videos on the different features of that, whether it's auto lane change, navigate on autopilot, self-park or summon. So in this video we're just going to look at the self-parking option, and I'm just going to drive to various places and we'll try to park the car and see how it performs. So at the moment we're in a Tesco's car park, and as you can see the system is switched on all the time, so it's constantly looking for parking spaces, and they're all being highlighted here. So let's start off with something very easy, and let's just select one of these spaces here, so we can choose either one. Well, actually I'll make it a bit more difficult, and we'll take a space on that side of the lane. So the car is going to pull in, but actually there is a car behind. Yeah, he stopped. Look at that, it's put my wipers on as well. But I've found reverse parking works incredibly well, astonishingly well actually, considering the car doesn't have ultrasonic sensors either. So we have just gone past our bay, but it did that because there was nothing behind. So it's now straightened up, and there we go, that's finished. And I found reverse parking like that is amazing in this car. It really is good. It will do maneuvers that other cars, well, I haven't seen other cars do before. So let's try another one, but let's try it where there is a car behind. So let's go round here and we'll try another one where we're going to reverse that to a car. Actually, I can see here, let's park between two cars. So let's go there between those two cars and say start. So we've got a car here which it's obviously going to get close to, and then we're going to reverse into that bay. So we are over the lines a little bit on this side, but it's now straightening the front up, and it's got that perfectly spot on. And then if I just look at both sides, we've got an equal gap that side and an equal gap that side. So let's try one that's got some bollards in the way. So here we're going to reverse into a charging bay, I think, if I selected the right one. We are, yes, because you can see the bollards there. So I'm hovering over the brake pedal. Here's the bollards. There. Done a good job on that one as well. And as you can see, it's constantly scanning for parking spaces, and at any point you can push these and it just does it. The only thing I wish it didn't do was I wish it didn't put the indicator on, because it does make you look like a bit of a bad driver indicating when you're doing a reverse park like that. Probably makes more sense when you're doing parallel parking. So let's go and try that now, because that's one thing I haven't yet tried. So I am struggling to find some parallel parking bays that I can try this on, but I've just seen up here there's possibly a gap here we can try. Yeah, so I'm driving along very slowly. There we go, it has found it. This is a very large gap, so it's not going to be a particularly good test. But anyway, as you can see, the car is having to go forward first, and then it's going to reverse in. So this is the first time I've tried parallel parking, so I'm just want to make sure we don't curb the wheels on the curb. But as you can see, we've got plenty of space here. We could fit 2 cars at least in here. There. And that's got about the right sort of space from the car in front. However, in this case it hasn't parked completely parallel with the curb, but it's done a reasonable job. But I suspect it's this overhanging grass which has probably affected it. So the front wheel is about 2 to 3 inches from the curb, but the back wheel is more like 8 to 10 inches away. So let's try this same bay, but coming from the other direction. So it's on that side of the road, which obviously it should work perfectly fine. There we go, press start. We're on a little single track side road really, so this isn't much of a test, but we'll see if we can find something a bit more challenging in a minute. That's interesting the way it turned. It was shallow at first and then it really turned the steering sharper. Yeah, I'm looking at the back wheel in the mirror and it's getting it just fine. However, we are a bit of an angle sticking out. Is it going to straighten us up? Yeah, it is. It's driving up to the van and straightening us up. And we're going back again. Don't know why. I think it's trying to straighten us up, but maybe the overhanging grass is affecting a little bit. Anyway, that should stop. Yeah, there we go, it's done it. And this time it's parked perfectly parallel with the curb. Maybe it's because there wasn't the overhanging grass like there was on that bay, and a perfect distance to that van in front. So let's see if we can find a space along here. Looks like there's a tight one here behind this Navara pickup. There is. Okay. Well, say tight. I could get in there no problem at all. But we've got cars very close on the other side of the road, so now it's got to get much closer to everything. So let's see how it copes. Doesn't help someone sat in that car there. But we're quite close. The wing there got quite close to the back of his car, and we are coming in at quite an angle at the curb. Right, I'm going to stop it because that back wheel looked like it was going to rub the curb. Which we were. So that was a fail on that one. But actually this space is quite tight. As you can see, I've moved in it properly myself. But yeah, I can't get out in one sweep. So yeah, that was quite a hard test for it. But anyway, it came in at too sharp an angle. So let's find another one. So after turning around, I'll try the same place again, but this time try that bay there. So we can hit start. So again, we've got a car parked on that side of the road, but I purposely stopped quite early, so it's had to drive forward quite a long way against beside this blue car here. And now it's positioned itself where it thinks it should be, so it can now do the reverse. Getting a bit close to that car there. It's quite scary when you're doing this for the first time. God, that back wheel's getting close to the curb. Flipping heck, that is close. But anyway, it's done it. If you don't really care about your other wheels, then yes, it does parallel parking just fine in some pretty tricky spots actually. But it actually did a good job of this one. It got it spot on. That's nice and parallel with the curb, with an equal gap, and we've got the right sort of gap between me and the car in front. But as you can see, the bay is quite narrow. My wheels are on the white line, so it handled that pretty well considering. So let's try another one. Let's see if I can get in there. Actually, no, let's make it more awkward. Let's go in that one there. So the car's going to go forward. Coming in at quite a steep angle again. Yeah, way too steep. I think the rear wheel is going to hit the curb again. I wish it dipped the mirrors. Yeah, oh no, it stopped just in time. So it's edged forward. God, it's getting close to that green car. Right, that was quite a tight bay, and I think that did a very good job, if you weren't quite so nervous about it, because it was a very narrow road and quite a small bay. And it's done a good job. There's slightly less than a metre gap between me and the car in front. It's parked parallel and very close to the curb there, and slightly less gap to the car in front. So considering what it had to park in, did a good job. And actually, now I come to get out of this space myself, I've realised how well it has done, because it is a pretty tight space. Around 94% of the viewers of this channel are not subscribed. I'm sorry to ask, but it would help greatly if you would. Just press the subscribe button. It's free and it shows YouTube you like this vehicle related content. If you want to be notified when new videos are released, click on the bell button also. Thank you. It really helps more than you would imagine. So now I've driven to the local Waitrose, which has a rather tight car park. I had forgotten to turn my microphone on here, but anyway, what I'm going to do is go into the corner where there's some DC rapid chargers, and again it's all rather tight. This is all quite tight because it is in the corner of the car park and there isn't much space in front of the car. But the car moves forward and then starts to reverse just fine. But then it stops trying and gives up. So I'll just reverse back and try the same bay again, but this time I'll just put the car in a different starting place. So I select the bay that I want, press start. So the car now edges forward to get ready to reverse. Starts to reverse into the bay. And watching out for those bollards, but yet again it stops and gives up. So clearly there's not enough space in front of the car for it to swing round, so let's just try this one myself, and as you can see I can reverse the car into the bay in one go. But I only did that because I put the front of the car much closer to that shrubbery. So the bay here was pretty wide and quite easy, to be honest. However, you can understand why the Tesla isn't going to drive too close to that lot, because it doesn't know that that's all soft. As far as it's concerned, that could be a wall. And even so, you wouldn't want your car even slightly brushing a hedgerow, because it might scratch the paint. So let's give it one more go. So let's have a go at reverse parking into these chargers. So is it recognizing these? It is, even though the paint on the road is quite worn. So there's a car coming behind, which it's obviously monitoring as well, but they've stopped. And we've got a cabinet here and a bollard either side, but it's getting that just right, and there, made a good job of that one. And it looks like it's parked dead in the middle of the bay with an equal space beside that bollard and that bollard on the other side. And Tesla seem to have cracked reverse parking with their vision only system, because it can read or see the markings on the tarmac. So as you can see, it can see the white lines of the bay, and it can also see the hashing markings as well. And obviously that's something that ultrasonic sensors can't do. Yet when Tesla removed the ultrasonic sensors from the cars, everyone ridiculed it, and people were cancelling their orders for a new Tesla because it didn't have parking sensors, thinking that just using the cameras just simply wouldn't work. I know it did take them a little while, but this vision only system is so clever, and now also very accurate as well. So finally, let's use Autopark to reverse between two Tesla Superchargers. So I've got plenty to choose from, and they've disappeared. Probably because I'm too close to the white lines. Anyway, there we go, they're back. So obviously a Tesla Autopark system has got to be able to park between two Tesla Superchargers, because Tesla don't put bollards around their chargers, and clearly a lot of Tesla owners can't reverse, because I see so many smashed ones, or even just cracked plastic casings. So I hope you found that useful or interesting. If you have, please do click the thumbs up, because that really does help. And I'll post other examples of Tesla Autopark in action in YouTube Shorts on the channel. And these will also be in the Model Y playlist, which I'll link below. So have a look at that if you want to see other videos on this car. And if you're thinking about buying a Tesla, also below is the referral link where you'll get money off your new car. Okie doke, I'll see you on the next one.